the face of this race, the shape of the race has altered before we even start, with pole sitter Nicolas Navarro not taking up his position on the grid. That's Jacques Villeneuve, car number 96. We're on board with Jacques Villeneuve now to see exactly what it's like for him around this challenging but supremely fast Dubai circuit. You can hear the rumble, the roar of that mighty V8 power plant, which does take some taming. And here is the Drivers' Championship. Look at this battle, the three-way battle between Jean Alesi in first place, Uwe Olsen, then it's David Terrien, then Johnny Herbert, Gianni Morbidelli, Matthias Lauda, Ananda Mikkola. And Nicolas Navarro, whatever was needed to be done to his car, he's going to start, it would appear, from the pit lane. So at least he will be starting. He's not part of this formation lap, therefore won't take up his pole position. But thank goodness that it looks like Nicolas Navarro will be out on track. So that's good news indeed. Good news for Nicolas Navarro. We're on board with David Terrien in the Union Properties car number 20. David Terrien is another one in that battle for this Drivers' Championship. A prize fund of $600,000 US. They so want to win. They're all weaving from side to side, trying to build some temperature into those tyres, ready to go racing, make them as sticky as possible. Gianni Morbidelli leads them away, then the cool, calculating but absolutely sinister on track Jean Alesi in car number 27. Then it's David Terrien in car number 20. Then we see 69, Johnny Herbert. Then it's Marchili, Uwe Olsen. What a weekend he had in Bahrain. Stefan Johansson, Jacques Villeneuve, Hasser Al Maktoum, and JJ Leto with Ukio Katayama. And then we see Pedro Lamy. It's going to be fantastic. So looking forward to this race. It's race 1 of the weekend, but race 9 in the championship series for Speedcar. And it is going to be blistering. The action will be red hot. And there is Jean Alesi, who will be so keen to add points to his Drivers' Championship tally and try and build a bit of a cushion. There's just 3 points between him leading the Drivers' Championship and the second place driver, and he needs and wants a bigger cushion than that. So it's all to be done for Jean Alesi, equally to be done for David Terrien as well. It is going to be a real dramatic conclusion to this championship here in Dubai as the safety car leads them round. The news from the pits is Navarro should be joining the race from the pit lane. That elevates Gianni Morbidelli to an effective pole position, which he didn't expect to have. There is Nicolas Navarro standing by in the pit lane, ready as soon as we get a green for him to be joining at the back of the pack. And then Navarro has got so much work to do, which is so disappointing for him. The safety car peels away. The cars form into their rightful positions in the grid, and providing all the race officials are absolutely happy, then these cars on their rolling lap will be away and racing. We see Morbidelli, then it's Alesi, then it's David Terrien, then it's Johnny Herbert, Uwe Olsen. They're all champing at the bit, waiting to get away, wanting to get this race underway. Gianni Morbidelli picks up the pace. We have red lights at the moment. The red lights extinguish, we go green, and let's go racing. It is the Speedcar Championship Series, race 9, underway here at the Dubai Autodrome as Gianni Morbidelli leads them away. Then it's Jean Alesi, big battle there between David Terrien and Johnny Herbert. The flame-throwing Johnny Herbert goes through into third place with David Terrien in fourth as they all come cleanly through from an excellent start from these Speedcar drivers. Gianni Morbidelli leads them away. Nicolas Navarro, of course, hopefully has joined at the back of the grid coming out from the pit lane. But we go on board with David Terrien. We can see what it's like in front as Johnny Herbert is there in car number 69. The flame-throwing Johnny Herbert is in third place. We're looking at his boot. Jean Alesi just in front of him. Then the race being led by Gianni Morbidelli. Oh, we've got problems for what looks like JJ Leto there. Fabian Scherer taking evasive action to avoid it. Leto is back, and we did just see Nicolas Navarro is actually out on track, so thankfully he is part of this race, albeit he's not where he would like to have been. Of course, Johnny Herbert having a real battle here. Look at this. John Lacey up the inside of Gianni Morbidelli. Gianni Morbidelli, is he going to shut the door? Yes, he is going to shut the door. John Lacey not close enough to be able to make it count on that occasion, so it's still Morbidelli, then it's Lacey coming under tremendous pressure now from Johnny Herbert, and then David Terrien, the 1, 2, 3, 4 in this speed car race. And Johnny Herbert takes a look up the inside, Lacey blocks him. It's Morbidelli. It's Lacey, it's Herbert, it's Terrien. They are absolutely neck and neck, and look at this 08 Uwe Olsen about to come in and join that pack of 4 as well. This is brilliant stuff from these mammoth V8 stock cars, speed car racing here at the Dubai Autodrome. It's all part of the grand racing weekend, and racing doesn't get much grander than this. Super stock car racing aboard the fast tarmac of Dubai. Gianni Morbidelli leads, then it's John Lacey, Johnny Herbert, and then we see David Terrien, then Uwe Olsen, who is challenging for this championship as well. Overtaking manoeuvre there from Sheikh Hasser Al Maktoum as he tries to depose Jacques Villeneuve, former Formula One world champion. We're through one complete lap. Thank goodness for that. This is Villeneuve fighting back against Sheikh Hasser Al Maktoum. And Villeneuve has got the legs, but will he be able to make it count into the corner? It's still Morbidelli and Lacey. Here they are. Villeneuve goes the long way around the outside. Can he get around? No, he can't. He's going to have to dip back on the inside. Sheikh Hasser Al Maktoum had got the better line there. But he gets all wayward, gets a little bit loose, but so does Villeneuve as well. So we're on board with Jacques Villeneuve now, just to see how hard he is pushing Sheikh Hasser Al Maktoum in front of him in car number 85. It's Jacques Villeneuve, the former Formula One world champion, who really has taken to this speed car series and is loving every minute of it. So the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 then, it's Morbidelli, Lacey, Herbert, Terrien, and then Olsen in car number 08, who's coming under some pressure right now from Marchi Lee in car number 50. There's very little between the top 6 so far in this race as Johnny Herbert goes for a move on Jean Lacey. Now Johnny Herbert has got the inside line here. Lacey's going to have to give way, surely, as Herbert tries to outbrake Lacey. Lacey's got more speed into the corner and makes it count. So Johnny Herbert really trying very, very hard to get on terms with John Lacey in car number 27. And of course, these two drivers supremely experienced and know just how far they can push these cars. They've got huge experience as Herbert goes through. He'd got the inside, and Terrien now. Terrien is through and he takes 2 of them at the same time. What a fantastic move from the young pretender, David Terrien in car number 20. Absolutely brilliant racing as Uwe Olsen gets past John Lacey as well. Early on, the whole face of this race is changing, and Lacey fights back and says, Olsen, no, you stay where you were. This is brilliant stuff. David Terrien, a fantastic overtaking manoeuvre from him. He let Johnny Herbert do all the hard work, and then he just picked up the pieces and took advantage of everything as we're on board with Olsen now up the inside of John Lacey. And Olsen has to take to the rumble strips as Lacey shuts the door. Across the line they go. It's Morbidelli, it's Terrien, Herbert, Lacey, Olsen. Marchi Lee takes a look up the inside of Olsen now, not enough to be doing it, as Johnny Herbert now stamps on the pressure on David Terrien. 08, Uwe Olsen. What a fantastic move. Now this is Herbert's move on Shauna Lacey, with Terrien just sitting back there and watching what's going on. And Herbert wasn't able to do it on that occasion, but lined himself up perfectly for the next bend when he did so. So we're on board with David Terrien. And this collected out front. Lacey under pressure from Olsen. But it's Gianni Morbidelli, David Terrien, Johnny Herbert, Jean Lacey, Uwe Olsen. Then we see Marchi Lee, Stefan Johansson and Sheikh Hasser Al Maktoum. And bad news for Ananda Mikkola as he's out of the car now. And again, obviously a problem there, drive shaft wise, for Ananda Mikkola as he looks at the back of that car. Let's go on board right now with Uwe Olsen, one of the most passionate drivers out there, whose passion in Bahrain saw him take 2 wins on track, both of which he lost. The first win, he was disqualified for not wearing his hands safety device. And then the second race, he was deposed to second place with a 10-second corner-cutting penalty. Uwe Olsen in 08. Marchi Lee is thundering down on his back bumper. But Uwe Olsen is probably just letting things settle down up front before he makes his move. One of the most aggressive and passionate drivers racing here in the Speed Car Championship. And look at the sand across the track. You can see it, almost a little haze. There's Stefan Johansson, Sheikh Hasser Al Maktoum, Jacques Villeneuve there, but we're back with the leader, Gianni Morbidelli, who is being tracked every step of the way by David Terrion, Johnny Herbert. Then it's Jean Alesi and Uwe Olsen. The gap between Stefan Johansson there in car number 07 and Sheikh Hasser Al Maktoum in car number 85, absolutely minuscule. So there's Gianni Morbidelli. There is David Terrion. David Terrion coming under pressure now from Johnny Herbert, but Johnny Herbert not quite close enough to dive up the inside there, but that's exactly what Sheikh Hasser Al Maktoum tries to do against Stefan Johansson.
Ananda, very disappointing. Same problems as this morning?
No, we have in the start of the race we have a good car, and then after the last corner I tried to overtake Ukyo, and then after out from the last corner the car is weird, you know, in the straight the car like that. So I think something problem with the suspension. I don't know why.
Okay, thank you very much. Back to you, Dave.
So Ananda Mikkola is out as Uwe Olsen comes under even more pressure from Marchi Lee in car number 50. This is the battle for 5th, 6th and 7th place. There is your race leader. Your race leader is Gianni Morbidelli. But look at this as Olsen tries a look at Jean Alesi, and Jean Alesi shuts the door. Olsen, there's a bit of panel rubbing goes on there, but Alesi holds firm and stands firm as we go back to the race leading Gianni Morbidelli as once again Johnny Herbert takes a look on David Terrion. He's right alongside him now. He has got the inside line and he is through. Perfect move from Johnny Herbert there. David Terrion fights back, but car number 69, Johnny Herbert, using every bit of his experience. And here we're on board with David Terrion. I mean, he can now see Johnny Herbert in front of him, and that will be a big disappointment. So Johnny Herbert just had the opportunity there, outbraked him, dived up the inside, and made that move count. Gianni Morbidelli is leading them now. Johnny Herbert is in second place with David Terrion in third. This is race 9 in the Speedcar Championship. It's race 1 here of the weekend for the speed cars, the Grand Racing Weekend here at the Dubai Autodrome. And look how close the first 3, 4, 5 cars are. Absolutely nothing in it almost, as Johnny Herbert now tries to reel in the race leader, Gianni Morbidelli. And he's taken a look up the inside now. Has he got the legs to get right alongside Gianni Morbidelli? No, he doesn't. Of course, these two drivers supremely experienced, and Gianni Morbidelli will know absolutely everything that Johnny Herbert is trying to do, and will try and block wherever possibly he can to stop any move taking place. Now, they really are very, very close, and by far and away, Johnny Herbert looks the most dominant driver out there in this pack of superstars in Speedcar this afternoon. Johnny Herbert, car number 69, again takes a look up the inside. Gianni Morbidelli goes quite wide. It's Gianni Morbidelli, and he drifts his car across there to shut the door, to block Johnny Herbert trying to go around the outside there. What a race this is turning out to be in the very early stages of it. It's absolutely fantastic motor racing entertainment. Super stock cars, these V8 monster machines that are speed cars here at their home, the Dubai Autodrome. So Gianni Morbidelli leads. He's got a right-hander into the start-finish straight. There's about 30 minutes left of this race, and Gianni Morbidelli is leading it in car number 10 with Johnny Herbert in second place. Then it's David Terrion, then it's Jean Alesi. Now Jean Alesi will not be happy about Terrion being in front of him, because they're really battling in the championship, and Jean Alesi will know that he's got to try and get his nose in front of David Terrion. Gianni Morbidelli, then it's Johnny Herbert, then it's David Terrion, then Jean Alesi. So this is Johnny Herbert. Perfect move up the inside of David Terrion, and Terrion knew that he'd made a mistake there and left that gap there, and Herbert went through up the inside. And there we can see it. Terrion knew then it was too late. He's through. So now Terrion's got the work to do to try and recover that. But at the moment, Johnny Herbert is very much looking the dominant player out there at the moment. He's second place on track. The race being led by the car number 10, Gianni Morbidelli. David Terrion once again now begins to put some pressure on to Johnny Herbert. Now do bear in mind that the tyre characteristics of these cars, as they're racing very, very hard, the tyres go off, they come on again. So the drivers that are driving with their head and kind of using the knowledge that they have about tyres will help them throughout this race. as Johnny Herbert now gets right on terms with Gianni Morbidelli, very nearly parked in his boot lid there. This is absolutely brilliant as Johnny Herbert tries to lull or to pressure Gianni Morbidelli into making just the slightest of mistakes so that Herbert can go through. Now there really is very little between the 1, 2, 3 here, just half a second and just 3/10 of a second between second and third. It really is that close. Blisteringly hot motor racing action here from these speed cars. There's Gianni Morbidelli, who knows that he's the one under pressure. He knows he's got loads of cars that are all desperately trying to get past him. But of course, if he drives a nice, tight, fast line, they've got a long way to go around the outside. So Johnny Herbert will maintain the pressure on Gianni Morbidelli, hoping that Gianni will just make the slightest of errors. And that will be all that Johnny Herbert needs to seize that opportunity and go through to take the lead. But at the moment it is Gianni Morbidelli. Johnny Herbert might have a go up this home straight now. Let's see if he dives up the inside to try and find the legs to get up the inside of Gianni Morbidelli and outbrake him into the left-hander, into the right-hander. No, he doesn't. So Gianni Morbidelli, Johnny Herbert, Terrien, then it's John Alesi. And then, look at this, Margie Lee has got past Uwe Olsen in car number 08. Uwe Olsen in 08 has been got past by Margie Lee in car number 5. Feeling the pressure, beginning to lock the brakes up and the tyres as well. So Johnny Herbert is doing everything that he knows he needs to do. He's pressuring Gianni Morbidelli all the way. And to keep up that relentless pressure on Gianni Morbidelli for 25 minutes that remain in this race. Wow, that is going to take some test of steely character to be able to hold on to that. So Gianni Morbidelli, Johnny Herbert, now David Terrien, of course, is watching Johnny Herbert's move, watching his every move. And if Herbert makes a go on Morbidelli, then Terrien's going to be in there as well. And John Alesi is just letting them sort themselves out, the 1, 2, 3, ready to pick up any pieces. So they're tracking each other, and we're on board with David Terrien, and we can see up front just how fast these cars are racing around the Dubai Autodrome. Fantastic stuff indeed, this speed car racing. Into the right-hander they go as John Alesi takes a look on David Terrien. David Terrien is still third. John Alesi not able to get quite close enough. It would appear that Johnny Herbert has let off a little bit, and Gianni Morbidelli now has increased the gap between them to half a second. So Gianni Morbidelli leads, then it's Johnny Herbert, then it's David Terrien, and then it is John Alesi. Here's Ukio Kadayama getting underneath car number 80. Car number 80 being driven by Pedro Lamy. And this is what it's like from, Pedro getting it a bit of a wobble on there. So Ukio Kadayama, as Pedro gets very sideways, Ukio able to take advantage of that as we go back. And we can see that Gianni Morbidelli is still leading as Johnny Herbert takes a look up the outside now. These really are battling all the way around. Johnny Herbert has got the legs now wide outside. But it's a long way round, and of course every time Johnny Herbert makes a move, David Terrien is waiting there to pick up the pieces. And look at this, they are absolutely neck and neck, these two. Gianni Morbidelli and Johnny Herbert, two of the most experienced race drivers that are out there in this series, having a fantastic battle out there. This is what motorsport is all about, close, tight, hot rocking race action, and that's what we get from Speedcar. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Gianni Morbidelli, the flame-throwing gentleman that is Johnny Herbert in car number 69. Then David Terrien, then the cool, calculating and sinister on track 27, Jean Alesi. The 1, 2, 3, 4 in this speed car race. We have 23 minutes left of this race. And this is excitement par excellence. Nicolas Navarro there in the yellow peril, car number 71. Of course, he qualified on pole position and had to join the race from the pit lane, not taking his pole position. There's Ukio Kadayama in car number 06 going wide, getting sideways, holding on to it, getting it back again. Meantime, that was Johnny Herbert absolutely flying past, and now takes a dive up the inside of Gianni Morbidelli, and Morbidelli has left a gap. Herbert goes through. Morbidelli tries to shut the door, but he left it too late. Johnny Herbert has driven this with his head. He's waited for an opportunity, and Gianni Morbidelli just left it a little bit too late before he shut the door, and Johnny Herbert was through. And you have to say, He has looked the quicker driver out of this pack of four, and is he going to blast off into the distance now? Fantastic stuff from Johnny Herbert as David Terrien now goes past Gianni Morbidelli as well. Jean Alesi ready to pounce also as Jean Alesi takes a look. There wasn't a gap there, so now the whole face of this race has changed in the space of just a few hundred yards of this Dubai Autodrome. So this is the Johnny Herbert move on Gianni Morbidelli. Left it to the very last minute, dived upside, up the inside. Gianni tried to shut the door. He was too far gone. That relegated Morbidelli down into second place. And then, as if that were not enough, David Terrien threw up the inside as well, relegating Gianni Morbidelli down into third. So it is Johnny Herbert that is leading the way. Then the battle now is for third place as Jean Alesi will be desperately trying to get past Gianni Morbidelli and to get on terms with David Terrien, who is challenging in the Drivers' Championship as well. Herbert, Terrien, Morbidelli, Alesi. Then it's Marchi Lee having the race of his life in these speed cars through into fifth place. Absolutely brilliant stuff from these V8 monster machines. There is Jean Alesi, car number 27. And Alesi takes a look up the inside. Morbidelli shuts the door. Alesi not far enough up there. Johnny Herbert trying to disappear into the distance and try and build some air between himself and David Terrien, because he knows David Terrien is a real trier and won't be happy with second on the podium, will want first. So it's Johnny Herbert, David Terrien, then it's Gianni Morbidelli, Jean Alesi, car number 27 as they cross the start-finish line. That's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Marchi Lee there in fifth place. Then we see Uwe Olsen, car number 08. Uwe Olsen, who had a torrid time of it back there in Bahrain, not having a brilliant time of it here in Dubai. This is Nicolas Navarro, who's had so much work to do right from the back of the grid. He qualified on pole, and he's set the fastest lap right now, so he means business. 2:07.739 from the yellow peril. That's the team Centerville driver, Nicolas Navarro. We're on board with him, and we can see just how hard he is pushing that yellow car as he gets past his teammate Fabien Giroa in car 17. Absolutely brilliant stuff from the team Centerville driver, who, whatever the problem was, he wasn't able to take up his pole position and had to start from the pit lane, which effectively meant the back of the grid for him. And this is Nicolas Navarro getting past his teammate Fabien Giroa. There's a wave there, and he's saying, come on through, you're quicker than me, get in there. So there we are, Navarro through. So back to the race we go then, as Marchi Lee, who is having the race of his life in speed cars in car number 50. The gap between Jean Alesi and Marchi Lee is 0.6 of a second, as you can see there. Nicolas Navarro driving like a thing possessed to be up to 9th place already. Then it's Fabien Giroa, then Jacques Villeneuve. There is Nicolas Navarro, who is pushing that car and giving 120% of his incredible driving prowess. He started from the pit lane, remember. He wasn't even on the grid, so had a huge amount of work to do. And look at him, absolutely come flying through that chicane. There's Johnny Herbert, who's leading in car number 69. Said he desperately wants a win here in Dubai this weekend. He's not taken a win yet in speed car, and he's 17.5 minutes away from achieving that if he stays where he is. But you can't help but feel that the pressure is going to mount from this guy that we're on board with right now. It's David Terrien driving the Union Properties machine, who is currently in second place as you hear the bop-bop-bop-bop of the rev limiter as he pushes the car to its absolute limits. Into the tight right-hander he goes, tries to get on terms with Johnny Herbert. Certainly not close enough to make an overtaking move, but is certainly not letting Johnny Herbert build a cushion either. So Johnny Herbert, of course, has won many races in his career, and he knows how to drive from the front. He knows he's got a clear track in front of him, and he won't spend too long driving in the mirror, because apparently when you start driving in the mirror you begin to lose the race. Johnny Herbert. Oh, and big problems there for Jean Alesi. It looks like a blow-up for Jean Alesi in car number 27. A lot of smoke out of that car. Bad news indeed for Jean Alesi. This is not what he needed. So car 27, Jean Alesi, he's off. He is off the track. A real problem for Jean Alesi. What a huge shame, because he leads the Drivers' Championship, and his points tally with a terminal problem with the car will be destroyed. Bad news indeed for Jean Alesi. Johnny Herbert, there he is leading. David Terrien certainly isn't letting him get away with it. Terrien is really on his back bumper, and Johnny Herbert knows he is under pressure. Johnny Herbert, David Terrien, Gianni Morbidelli, Marchi Lee, then we see Uwe Olsen up into 5th now. Hasser Al Maktoum is 6th, then it's Johansson, and then in 8th place, Nicolas Navarro, having started the race from the pit lane. Car number 69 leads the way, Johnny Herbert. Then it's David Terrien in the Union Properties machine. He's tracking him. He's in his wheel tracks every single step of the way. And then we see Gianni Morbidelli in 3rd place now, and Jean Alesi, we can only assume, will be a race retirement as his smoking machine is taken back to the pits. So 15 and a bit minutes remain in this race, and there is Jean Alesi's car. Done. And as you can see, the smoke pouring out of that. Now, that does look terminal, and Jean Alesi not happy at all. He'll be furious with that. He was pushing the car hard, but probably knew there was a problem with it because it wasn't perhaps as quick as we've seen Jean Alesi. Meantime, there is Johnny Herbert, who's got 0.4 of a second cushion between himself and David Terrien. Not much indeed. And we're back on board with Nicolas Navarro right now, who has propelled himself up into 8th position and is now challenging Stefan Johansson for 7th. Now, Navarro, we've seen some real traits of his character in just qualifying practice and in this race 1 here of the weekend as well. It's race 9 in the championship, and Navarro all of a sudden has really dialed himself in, A, to the track and B, to the car. Great shame that obviously some mechanical gremlins as he takes a look up the inside of Johansson, but Johansson's a wily old driver. He knows that Navarro is pushing him hard, but of course Johansson, one of the oldest competitors out there in speedcar racing. The young pretender Navarro's going to have to work damned hard to get past him, and this could be where it happens. Diving up the inside as we head towards the right-hander at the end of the home straight here is Nicolas Navarro, probably not close enough to be able to do it. Through the gearbox he goes. Oh, and the brakes scream under protest as the heavy braking tries to scrub off some speed into the left-hander. They go, the sweep-in left-hander, sweep-in right now as Terrien lifts off, then puts his foot back through the floor again as he tries to reel in Stefan Johansson in car number 7. So the race then being led by Johnny Herbert with David Terrien 2nd, Gianni Morbidelli 3rd, Marchi Lee is 4th, Uwe Olsen 5th, Hasser Al Maktoum is 6th. But there Navarro with his teammate Fabian Giroa behind him is trying to reel in this 07 Stefan Johansson car. But Johnny Herbert now coming under increasing pressure from David Terrien. David Terrien hasn't let off at all as the race has progressed, and Johnny Herbert, once Johnny Herbert got through and then Terrien was able to make his move on Morbidelli as well, he has really pushed Herbert all the way around the track here, and he knows that he's got to get past him. Meantime, this is the battle for 7th place between Stefan Johansson and Nicolas Navarro. The all-yellow machine is Nicolas Navarro. Right ahead of them, they've got Sheikh Hasser Al Maktoum in car number 85. But there is car 71, Nicolas Navarro. Stefan Johansson, 07, Nicolas Navarro, 71. As Navarro takes a look, is he close enough? He probably is now. Going to have to try and dial in somewhere wherever he can, try and get alongside Johansson. Could be some panel rubbing coming up here. Take a look at this. There's Navarro up the inside. Johansson shuts the door. Navarro keeps in there, keeps his foot in, and you have to say as they cross the line, probably Navarro runs Johansson wide. Navarro has got the legs up the straight. Now Navarro's going to have the advantage going into the right-hander. Assuming Navarro can keep the pressure on, is Johansson going to try and shut the door? He tried, but he knows it's futile. He knows that Navarro is up there, and he gets through in car number 71. We are seeing some fantastic driving from this car number 71, being piloted by Nicolas Navarro. Amazing stuff indeed. There's Sheikh Hasser Al Maktoum in 85. There's the yellow peril that is Nicolas Navarro. There's Stefan Johansson, who came under tremendous pressure from Navarro, and once Navarro had an opportunity, he was up there and he was alongside him. Johnny Herbert still leads. David Terrien is still third with Gianni Morbidelli. Third. David Terrien is second. Johnny Herbert is leading. Then we see Marchi Lee in fourth place at the moment, having a really supreme drive from Marchi Lee. Just under 11 minutes left in this speed car race here at the Dubai Autodrome. It's part of the grand racing weekend here in Dubai, as Terrien lifts a wheel as he pushes his car as hard as he dare. So there is Johnny Herbert. Into the right-hander he goes, tracked by David Terrien, who's not as close as he has been. Herbert, Terrien, Morbidelli, Marchi, and Olsen is back to his old self, if you like, in terms of absolute 125% commitment. So the gap between the two is 0.4 of a second. Marchi Lee is fourth, Olsen is fifth. And here's how he tried to do it. Up the inside he goes. Marchi Lee drove with his head, said, take that. Away you go. You've drifted wide. I am coming back through. This is Fabien Giroux getting very sideways. Piles on the opposite lock to try and control it. Brings his car to a stop. But we're back with the leader, Johnny Herbert. And David Terrien's relentless pressure on Johnny Herbert has not eased a bit. And this is the next battle between Olsen and Marchi Lee, 08 and car number 50. Now Olsen is one of the most passionate, aggressive racers out there. And we've already seen some ambitious overtaking manoeuvres from Olsen. And the gap between the leading Johnny Herbert and the fifth place Uwe Olsen, 6.7 seconds. 6.7 seconds as once again Olsen takes a look at the clean air alongside Marchi Lee's car, but can't get close enough to do it. But is he going to be close enough this time? Marchi Lee shuts the door. And Olsen tries to dive up the inside, but he can't turn in quick enough. What a battle between these two. Marchi Lee, who really is having probably the best race of his speed car racing career so far, defending his fourth position and trying to prevent Uwe Olsen from getting past. Johnny Herbert leads. David Terrien is second. We're back on board with Uwe Olsen. 7.5 minutes remain in this fantastic, full of spectacle speed car race here at the Dubai Autodrome. Race 1 of the weekend for these speed car drivers. Race 9 of the championship, as now Hasser Al Maktoum is coming under pressure from Nicolas Navarro. Now this yellow peril driver, 71, Nicolas Navarro, qualified in pole position, wasn't able to take his pole position on grid. Some mechanical gremlin with the car prevented that, so he had to start from the pit lane right at the back of the grid, and he has pushed and pushed and pushed himself through into 7th position on track as Uwe Olsen and Marchi Lee's battle royale continues, and Lee goes wide. Lee makes a huge mistake, goes wide, and that's all Uwe Olsen needed. It was gifted to Uwe Olsen, who goes through now to take up 4th place. It's now Johnny Herbert, David Terrien, then it's Gianni Morbidelli, and then Olsen. But you have to say Marchi Lee is fighting back. This is how it went wrong. Olsen goes very, very wide. Olsen keeps it tight inside as Marchi Lee goes wide, and through he went. Uwe Olsen in car number 08. Now, Olsen really has got that car set up absolutely perfectly. Fantastic Porsche Cup driver and having a superb time of it in speed cars, challenging some of the things along the way, but nonetheless. Here we see Sheikh Hasser Al Maktoum, who's being reeled in by Nicolas Navarro in car number 71. Navarro really has perhaps put in the drive of the race so far, having had to start from the pit lane. There is Navarro in car 71. Nicolas Navarro, the yellow peril in car 71. Tracking Sheikh Hasser Al Maktoum in car number 85. Round the right-hander they go into the start-finish straight. Now Navarro piles his foot onto the gas. Now Navarro's going to have to break Hasser Al Maktoum into the right-hander. Is he close enough to do it? Nicolas Navarro, we're on board with him right now. He's looking for that gap. Hasser Al Maktoum will shut the door surely. It's not close enough as once again the brakes absolutely squeal under protest. Heavy braking there from Nicolas Navarro, who really is pushing this car to its absolute limits. Navarro has had a fantastic drive from the pit lane to find himself up there in 7th position. And Al Maktoum goes a little bit wide. Now Navarro trying to get on terms with him. Surely he can do it. No, not quite enough legs. So Sheikh Hasser Al Maktoum in 6th place, being hounded, positively hounded by Nicolas Navarro in car 71. There is Navarro in the all-yellow machine. And right in front of him, it's Sheikh Hasser Al Maktoum. Then we see Stefan Johansson. So how close now is Navarro? Well, you have to say that Sheikh Hasser Al Maktoum has probably had a fright and thought, hang on a minute, I better put my foot down here because this Navarro means business. We're on board right now with Jacques Villeneuve, who's currently in 9th place in this Speedcar race 9 of the championship. The gap between Stefan Johansson in 8th and Jacques Villeneuve is 7.1 seconds. And Fabien Giraud is 2.3 seconds behind Jacques Villeneuve in car number 96. So spring settings look particularly loose on the back of Jacques Villeneuve's car as it bounced around that bend there as Navarro takes a look at Sheikh Hasser Al Maktoum, and surely he's done it. Surely he has done enough to get through. Indeed he has, as Hasser Al Maktoum fights back right now. 71, Nicolas Navarro. The all-yellow peril machine is being tracked all the way by Sheikh Hasser Al Maktoum, but Al Maktoum made a mistake, and that was enough for Navarro to go through. So Navarro really driving an incredible race, given that he had to start right from the back of the grid in the pit lane, in fairness. So it is Herbert, Terrien, Morbidelli, then it's Olsen, Lee, Navarro, Hasser Al Maktoum, then it's Johansson and Villeneuve. Sheikh Hasser Al Maktoum now obviously prefers to chase than be chased, as he tries to reel in Navarro and have another go at him. But you have to say Navarro has looked particularly menacing in this race, with under 3 minutes left of racing for these brilliant speed cars at their home, the Dubai Autodrome. This is part of the grand racing weekend here this weekend. And there is Navarro, car 71. Right at the back of the grid, he's pushed himself right up to 6th place. Brilliant drive from him. There's Gianni Morbidelli, who's currently 3rd. Uwe Olsen, then it's Marchillet, and then it's Nicolas Navarro, who perhaps now won't be challenging anymore with just 2 and a bit minutes left in this race. Probably not going to be able to make up the time necessary to get into those further places, but you have to respect the guy and the way he has driven this as he lifts the wheel up and really pushes it hard. Fantastic racing from these speed car drivers. Less than 0.3 of a second between Navarro and Sheikh Hasser Al Maktoum in car number 85, as we see Johansson in there as well. There is Nicolas Navarro. Just over 1.5 minutes left in this speed car race 1 of the weekend, race 9 of the championship series, that is being led right now, this race, by Johnny Herbert. And there the pit board's out giving their drivers instructions to let them know where they're at, as Johnny Herbert goes across the start-finish line and what effectively will be his last lap. So let's keep an eye now on David Terrien. If David Terrien is going to make a go on Johnny Herbert, it's got to be now or never. This is the last lap. So Johnny Herbert leads in car number 69. David Terrien now. There's a couple of car lengths, maybe 3 car lengths between Johnny Herbert and David Terrien. David Terrien will be throwing caution to the wind now. He hasn't got anyone on his back bumper. He can take a bit of a gamble, bit of a punt, and try and really have a go at Johnny Herbert. The gap between them is 0.8, just about 0.8 of a second. So David Terrien in the Union Properties machine, Johnny Herbert in the flame-throwing 69 car. David Terrien has got 4.7 seconds worth of cushion between himself and Gianni Morbidelli, but you have to say he's probably not close enough to Johnny Herbert to make a go of it. He's probably going to have to settle for second place. Now Johnny Herbert will be absolutely delighted taking a win here at the Dubai Autodrome. He hasn't had a win in the speed cars yet. He's been on the podium, but he needs a win, and this could be it. It could be win number one, speed car win number one for Johnny Herbert, as David Terrien continues his quest to try and get on terms with him. But you have to say, looking at it, you don't think he's ever going to get close enough to challenge Johnny Herbert in car number 69, who once he got his nose in front looked supremely comfortable, even though David Terrien kept the pressure on throughout the race. But now as we reach the closing stages, as we're into the final lap, David Terrien is probably not close enough to make a challenge on him. This has been a fantastic race from these speed car drivers. There is your race leader, car number 69, Johnny Herbert. Then it's second place, David Terrien, car number 20. As Johnny Herbert now, he's got one more corner before he heads for home. And home means the checkered flag, and the checkered flag means speed car win number one for driver number 69, Johnny Herbert, as he crosses the start-finish line. Fantastic. He will be chuffed to bits for him and chuffed to bits for his team as well. But what a fantastic race from David Terrien, who tried so very, very hard to get on terms with him. In second place, Gianni Morbidelli third. Then we see Uwe Olsen. Then it's Marchi Lee. Probably Marchi Lee's best speed car race that we've seen. And then an epic from Nicolas Navarro from the pit lane to finish in sixth place is fantastic. Sheikh Hasser Al Maktoum, then it's Stefan Johansson, then it's Jacques Villeneuve, then it'll be Fabien Giroux through in 10th place, and then we'll see JJ Leto in car number 90 take 11th place. There is your race winner, Johnny Herbert. Absolutely fantastic stuff from Johnny Herbert. Once he got his nose in front, well, you have to say, it looked like somebody had got to battle really hard to get past him. He's a wise old driver, and he won't thank me for calling him old, but years and years and years of race experience means that you can defend your first place and defend it conclusively, which is exactly what he did as he waves to the fans on his way around the track. So there he is, 69, Johnny Herbert, celebrating his race win. Bit of smoke coming out of that car now. A lot of smoke coming out of that car now on the wind down lap. I mean, whatever damage is done, it doesn't matter now because he's won the race and he won't care two hoots. But there was just a real puff of smoke out of that car then, something to be maybe concerned with. Okay, race classification then, and confirmation. Johnny Herbert takes the win. In second place, it's David Terrien. Third, Gianni Morbidelli. In fourth place, Uwe Olsen. Fifth was Marchi Lee. Sixth was Nicolas Navarro. Then it's Hasser Al Maktoum in seventh place. Eighth was Stefan Johansson. Ninth, Jacques Villeneuve. In 10th place, Fabien Giroux. 11th on track was JJ Leto. And in 12th place, Ukio Katsuyama. So the 1 through to 12 then, and the race won by Johnny Herbert quite convincingly. Then 13th place we see Pedro Lamy with retirements for Jean Alesi and Ananda Mikkola. So there's Johnny Herbert then, race winner. Into the pits he'll go. Terrien should already be there. Then we'll see Gianni Morbidelli and Uwe Olsen. And well, Johnny Herbert will be delighted. He'll be delighted not only to have that race win under his belt, but also for his team, who have worked very, very hard indeed. And there's his flag, 69 Johnny Herbert, as it's being waved in to position number 1 in Parc Fermé. There he is, 69 Johnny Herbert. At last. Crash helmets off, belts off, all the paraphernalia undone as he jumps out of the car. Hugs all around, and rightly so. Heck of an achievement there for Johnny Herbert. Absolutely loving it. Number 1, and look at this Drivers' Championship now being led by Uwe Olsen, with Jean Alesi's retirement hug there from David Terrian, who took it all the way to the wire. But look at this Drivers' Championship. What a battle it's going to be tomorrow. Olsen, Alesi, Terrian, and then Johnny Herbert into the mix as well. The 1, 2, 3, 4, and Gianni Morbidelli putting some good points on board as well. And Herbert tries to sit on a cone, which is perhaps not the best thing in the world to be doing, and the last thing in the world that you want everyone to know about. This Drivers' Championship is going to be taken to the wire tomorrow. What a conclusion to this inaugural Speedcar Series Championship. And there's Johnny Herbert with his hands to vice, crash helmet off, and well, he is chuffed to bits. There's Gianni Morbidelli congratulating him as well. David Terrian in there as well, and we'll steam Johnny Herbert off there. Up to the podium they go, and rightly so. There's David Terrian in the red overalls, Gianni Morbidelli in the white and black, and Johnny Herbert in the blue and white. And Johnny is a likeable character, loved by hundreds and thousands of race fans, and they will be delighted that he has taken this win here in the Speedcar Series. It's race 1 of the weekend here in Dubai, race 9 of the championship. It's taken him that long to get the win. There he is, heading out towards the podium, and some water will be grabbed and taken on board, so these boys will be hot. It's been a hard race for them. Fantastic. There we are. Very, very hot indeed, Johnny Herbert. Gianni Morbidelli there. Pleased with his performance this afternoon. Of course, started effectively on pole position because Nicolas Navarro having to get his car started out of the pit lane. And there is David Terrian. And there is Johnny taking a deserved rest right now. And shortly we'll see the podium and the trophy presentations aboard the podium, which will be good to see in front of the crowd here at the Dubai Autodrome. There is Johnny just discussing after race with Gianni Morbidelli there. So looking quite comfortable.
Ollie, can you possibly tell us how much time we've got left?
And absolutely chuffed to bits with his race win. So there they are then. We're just waiting for the podium and for the trophy presentations to take place. An entire bottle of water emptied over the cool head of cooler head now of Johnny Herbert. Weather conditions here in Dubai, it is hot, and of course these drivers have it all to do in a race car, don't they? So there he is, he heads to the podium, Johnny Herbert, driver number 69. Then we see David Terrian alongside, and Gianni Morbidelli will join them on the podium as well. And time for the national anthem. Who knows, maybe Johnny Herbert has a career in front of him as a orchestra conductor as well, as he regales in the national anthem. And there he is in position number 1 of the podium, and stealing Gianni Morbidelli's cap as he's presented with his first place Trophy from Simon Azam, the Chief Executive Officer of Union Properties. And he gives the baseball cap back. How very typical. And then there's David Terrian then, who receives the second place trophy from Saeed Khalfan, chairman of the Dubai Autodrome. He holds that second place trophy aloft. Very, very pleased. And then Gianni Morbidelli receives his third place trophy. Brilliant stuff indeed for the 1, 2, 3 in that race, as the focus of the world's motorsport media attention are on these three. Huge characters in the world of speed car racing, as our trophy presenters join us as well on board the podium. What an incredible speed car race, full of drama, full of action, and full of spectacle from these V8 monster machines. All the drivers looking very, very happy indeed, and rightly they should as well. And the championship going right to the wire tomorrow. So there's Johnny, who almost needs a high-ab crane to lift that trophy. Round behind the podium he goes. Brilliant stuff from Johnny Herbert. Okay, right now we've got Gianni Morbidelli.
Gianni, apart from being very hot, you must be very pleased with yourself.
Yeah, I did my best. Honestly, I tried to stay in front, you know, but Johnny was much weaker than me, and Terrien as well. Then I tried to stay with them, but I pushed it a lot, and unfortunately I did a mistake in the brake, and I made a flat spot in my front right tire. Then my performance went down and down and down. Third place is a good, is another podium, another point. Good, that's good.
And your hopes for tomorrow?
Yeah, of course. I will push tomorrow from the back. I will try to do a very aggressive race.
Thank you very much, Gianni.
So Gianni Morbidelli then, of course, he'll be pleased with himself, but explained there, had a bit of a problem with the tyre there, as right now we go to the race winner, and Johnny,
finally what we've been wanting you to do for so long.
Me too. You know, I had one pre-season here in Dubai, which was great. It was unfortunate what happened in especially Bahrain the last weekend, where we had a few problems where I could have won there. But it's great to come back to the home of speed car and win here. So it's great in front of all the fans, and I'm very proud and happy that we've come a long way with this series, and I think we've got a cracking series future.
Now, you were just a couple of points behind third. Jean didn't finish the race today. That potentially means if you do the same again tomorrow, we could see you further up in the championship.
Yeah, well, I always knew I had to win today. That was the only chance I had. Then it was really down to what Jean and Uwe. I don't know where Uwe finished up, but I think he was still there. So yes, there's still a chance. Nothing, it's not over yet. I've got nothing to lose still, and we'll see. Let's see what happens tomorrow. But you know, the car was good. It's tough with David right behind me. It was very, very hard to just keep pace. It's really keeping out of the way, not making mistakes, which is what I did very well today. And see what happens tomorrow.
And finally, will you send somebody in to try and fiddle with other people's engines?
Well, unfortunately mine, I had a bit of smoke when I came in, so hopefully mine is okay, but I don't need to do that. Just bring it on, boys. Just bring it on.
There we go, just bring it on, and well done, Johnny Herbert. So, David, well done, another podium for you. It's been a good couple of weeks.
Yeah, unfortunately I had not enough top speed to be able to overtake, but my strategy from qualifying is working. I'm not using the new sets of tires, and I had one new set for today. I still have one for tomorrow. So it's good. Now my problem is starting 7th tomorrow. I don't know how I will overtake because my engine is too slow in the top speed. So I will have to take the same kind of race that I took on Jenny, but in the end I think that's what's making the show, and it was a nice overtaking maneuver, and I was proud to put the Italian behind me.
It was very good overtaking maneuver. You're looking a little bit hot.
Yeah, I mean I was struggling. When you're right behind someone, the air doesn't come in the car, and I was fighting to stay at the contact because I was expecting any mistake, but Jenny did a few, but Johnny doesn't. He just doesn't.
Well, keep fighting. Hopefully we'll see the same again tomorrow.
Thanks.
Well, what a fantastic race win for Johnny Herbert, and the scene is set for a dramatic conclusion to the Speedcar Championship tomorrow.